What is up, comic fans?
Hey, everyone. So
We're here with
how?
the one and only.
Yeah, we got Chad Hardin here. What's up, Chad?
Hello, guys. Hey, I got Disney sound effects. All right.
I love it.
You know, I forgot to pull up crypto because I know you guys have made a badge for me, right?
I mean, allegedly. Maybe. I don't know that we should jump right into that though. I mean,
I think so. No, okay, you're right. We should probably say that. I'm like a junkie.
Man, zero chill. I know.
Give me the badge.
All right, you can have the badge if you complete the drawing.
You look like me with your Kickstarter covers. You know what
I mean? Shaking for the badge.
Oh,
shaking for the badge. All right. I'm ready. I have the page up though, so whenever we're ready to do the badge, I'm ready to type it in. So
I'm gonna wait until the end of this stream so he has to stay because I feel like he just logged on. He's gonna be like, "Cool, thanks for the badge later, guys."
Oh, you know me too well. Know me too well. Take a sip of my iced beverage.
Today we're here with Chad, and we're going to learn to draw Naia. Now, before we kind of get into that, can you tell us who Naia is?
Okay, so Naia is a crew member of the Starship Temerity, and she is a mercenary who loves to hide ginormous BFGs under her skirt and pull them out at the most convenient moments possible. So she's a lot of fun. She's addicted to candy. I should say sweets of any kind. She has this incredible bubbly personality, bordering on annoying little sister personality. But when it comes to a fight, she's definitely someone that you want on your side. So that is Naia in a nutshell.
So speaking of Temerity, you actually have Temerity the Runaway coming out on Kickstarter soon, don't you?
We do. We launched January 19th, and and correct me if the last I talked to Gemma, we are doing a simultaneous Kickstarter / Indiegogo crowdfund campaign. So yeah.
You guys don't do anything like the easy way, do you?
Well, it's so funny because so you know, like Gemma will analyze something, and once she analyzes it, she's like, "Okay, I can do this," and then she just sort of goes for it. And you're like, and at this point, like I'm just along for the ride, you know. I'm like, okay, Gemma, I guess we're doing this, you know. But I like, you know, she's she's driving the golf cart, and I'm being pulled along on a sled behind the golf cart, you know. So she is bound and determined, and I'm there to support her as best as I can. So, but yeah, that's the word. So I know. Man. You guys like we warned you. Ready. I can just see Andrew going. I warned you. I'm like, you know what, you did, but we're doing it anyway. Woohoo! So,
well, more power to you. I can't wait actually, because it's there's so many cool things. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'm not going to say anything.
Well, ask me the question, so cool. and then I'll see if I can. If you ask me the question,
is Andrew in the book?
You know what? I'll have to see what I can do.
So that's a no. No,
not in there.
See if we can put you on a screen somewhere, like maybe like a bounty poster.
Oh, there we go. Oh. Hey, at least I'm canon then. That's all I need.
That is awesome. All right, so Naia, she's so crazy, like all over the place. I love it. I love her character and stuff. So should we actually jump into it, or?
Yeah, we can jump in. So let me see now. I have Reflector pulled up. So let me see if I can just share my screen here. Hold on. Oh, don't turn off Reflector. That would be bad. So let me see if I can share screen. And let's see. Share screen. Screen sharing is easiest on 2 monitors. Screen sharing works best on a good computer. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. There we go. Sweet. It's right there. And we're going to click this and we're going to be like share. And so hopefully.
While Chad is reading out loud all the instructions for sharing the screen,
This is how I roll.
with chat real quick.
Hey, I don't want to accidentally show the wrong screen, you know.
You should probably not be looking at that kind of stuff while you're on a screen.
It's all reference, man.
Yeah. Tom's coming in chat saying, hey, what's up, Tom?
Hey, Tom.
Rose comes in to say, hi, everybody. Good morning from the UK. Hello, Rose.
Good morning, Rose.
Good morning.
We got Chocolate Spoon, which may or may not allegedly also be Tom, saying, hey, everybody.
Chocolate rain. Sorry.
Oh, that just happened. All right. Stephanie on Facebook says, hey, people. Amy says, Naia is a kick-ass cutie.
That's right.
I thought for a second there she put Andrew was a kick-ass cutie, and I got excited.
No. Everybody just likes your voice. I don't know why, but yeah.
You do have a very sultry voice, Andrew.
Whoa, that just happened. Somebody clip this on Twitch. Hurry. Save this. I'm going to set my home network to like replay that clip on every device in my house every time I walk in. You know what I mean? Let's see. Andrew on Twitch comes in to say, sup, guys? Hope you're having a great night. Pretty good so far. Making it fun anyways. Nobody's Illusion on Twitch says hello. What's up, nobody's? And Stephanie comes back on Facebook say, do a hidden Andrew, like where's Waldo? Why?
Well, like you have to like zoom in like really, really big and be like,
yeah, don't tell Chad that. He hides little things inside of every drawing. And if you guys don't believe me, just look up on Reddit.
Yeah.
He does. He hides stuff in every drawing.
Yeah.
Well, or is it just every cover? I know it's every
no,
cover.
I'm pretty guilty. Have you guys ever watched the whole hidden messages in Disney films and
the hidden cookies?
Yeah. Well, so like when I was growing up, I was like, that's just coincidence. That would never happen. These animators would never do such an irresponsible thing. And then you start
see the Little Mermaid cover.
Well, what happens is you get older, and you have these insane deadlines. And those deadlines like go into like every hour of the day, and sooner or later you basically stop using your better judgment, and your lizard brain basically kicks in after days of sleep deprivation and lack of proper nutrition and any type of contact with the rest of humanity, and then you basically just start like, hey, I think it's a really good idea to try and add this and hide this in a book or in a movie or whatever. And so that does happen. It's called Space Madness. That's a Ren and Stimpy reference, but it still holds true. So anyway, yeah. So I love just throwing in Easter eggs. They're all over the place. I don't know why. I think it's funny, but it's funny. It's funny to me at 4 a.m. It's hysterical. I'm like giggling to myself in a way that only an insane person can appreciate while I put these little Easter eggs in the book everywhere I can. So, but yeah, it's a real thing. Real thing.
Somebody needs to make an entire site just about where you've hidden different things.
Good luck.
All right, so you're drawing Naia right now. How does like the proportions and stuff change? Well, one, because Naia's an alien, and two, like to differentiate between other characters.
So Naia is a new oh my gosh, Nuarian. I hope I say that right. Gemma will correct me if I don't somewhere. She'll reach out through the force. Let me see. Let me get my force dialed in and see if she is screaming, "No, Chad, no." But no, and they are a humanoid race. So physiologically, they're very similar to humans, much in the same way like Vulcans are in Star Trek. The biggest differences are their ears and their antennae. And there's actually two types of Nuarians. There's the ones with the antennae, and then there's the ones with the horns. And they both live. They're two sentient beings that share the same planet. And she is, I want to say, a type A, which has the antennae. So, and I have no idea what the antennae do. Some people call them the fluffy bunny ears, and that actually makes me happy. And then she also has the pointed Vulcan type ears for exquisite hearing. But besides that, I mean, everything else is pretty much humanoid anatomy. And I always I picture her as like I said, almost like a little sister type. She's small in stature, but incredibly fierce. Wherever she came from, she was definitely the youngest child, because the youngest child has to have that killer instinct in order to survive the torture of all the children. So I basically picture, the sort of the smaller, younger child, the person that basically had to fight for like every last pizza or whatever. Resources are scarce, especially if you grew up in Utah with a Mormon family. That's a little local humor. I'm in Utah right now, and I raised a Mormon family. So anywho, so these are just some of the things that I think about. So, and I always start with I try and start with a gesture. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just sort of laying in the gesture. That might be a little bit light. Let me see if I can just double this real quick so you guys can see. So I'm just trying to block in the parts of the body, establish a pose, keep it really loose. And then once you start getting happy with the pose and the way things are going, then you can basically zoom in and start plugging in some of the more important features. Now, the face is always the most expressive part of the drawing. So it's where you want to put like most of your attention. How much time do we have tonight?
As long as you want.
As much as you want.
Depending on how much time we have, we'll determine how far we get. But usually a nice face can take anywhere from like 20 minutes to an hour. So if I get further, we get further. If not, we'll just sort of work in a logical progression. So I'm hitting some of the major landmarks, just establishing the eyes. If I were drawing traditionally, I would hold my paper up to a light source. But since I'm drawing digitally, I just go and I flip my canvas. This allows me to make sure that I have like certain details correct, like the perspective of the eyes is consistent. Okay, so everything's basically coming along. I'm just adding these little structural points for myself just to check. But it always helps to do these little checks while you draw, as opposed to at the end of your drawing. There's some pretty hysterical memes. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these art memes where there's like this little puppy and he's drawing this picture, and then he goes into Microsoft Paint and he flips his picture, and all of a sudden this cute little drawing turns into like this almost like Picasso Dali-esque, and the look on his face of sheer terror. That is a very true, if you're an artist, like there's never been a more true meme where you'll be working on a drawing and then all of a sudden at the end you'll check it and all of your mistakes come flooding through because your mind has a bias. But anyway, so get in the habit of checking early and checking often, and then that way you're not left at the end of switched over to eraser, not meaning to. That way you're not left at the end of the drawing with something that looks like a Picasso. What's happening?
Nothing.
I hear
there was just something in chat.
Okay.
Here, I'll put this up. Chat is amazing. Yeah.
Is that what we're laughing?
No. That's we're still laughing at the Where's Waldo, I swear.
Okay.
Well, and Stephanie also came back to say Andrew is the eye candy, which proves my theory correct all along. That
you are the draw, sir.
People are likely here to see me rather than Naia. I love how hard Chad just started laughing at that. Like, whatever, dude.
We all know. We all know.
Rose Kirby on YouTube says, "Hi, I'm the only one watching." No, you're not. Not at all.
Wee.
All right, so
and then GF Andrew Dodge on comes in to say, maybe she's talking about me. I mean, that's probably accurate, but still, there could be a lot of Andrews.
The fluffy bunny antennas or the horns actually kind of affect the hairline?
Okay, so there are things you worry about, and there's things you don't. I literally just have them poking through her hair, and they really don't make that much sense. If we ever were to shoot a live action film, we'd have to figure it out. But I literally almost have them just sort of spontaneously sticking out of the hair. So I try not to have it affect the hairline. If I change the hair, and it drives Gemma nuts. She's like, "Chad, you changed Naias hair," and I'm like, "Yeah, because what'll happen is if you draw the hair consistently, but you have the face at a different angle, sometimes the hair covers the face."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always drawing a different hairstyle because I'm always sort of trying to get the hair out of the face. And it's one of those things that drives Gemma nuts. But I have the reasons why I do it, and whether or not they'll hold up in court, that's yet to be seen. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, but yeah, I mean, I basically just sort of worry about the hair, and then I worry about the anatomy, and then the fluffy bunny ears just sort of pop up, and then so I'll draw a little bit of a division where they're sort of poking through, like a little crease. Yeah, but basically that's it. And I have no idea what, like I said, what the antennae do. I'm sure Gemma knows, so maybe she's watching and she can be like, "Chad, I told you."
Maybe it'll come out in the second book.
Yeah,
maybe it'll come out in the third book.
Maybe she's like Mantis, where there's sort of a sixth sense type of thing, and she has some extra sensory psychic ability.
Maybe they're there for aerodynamics.
Right. Probably not empathy though, because otherwise she'd have been able to tell what was on Julius's mind. Yeah. I don't. Have you guys read issue 1?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, she can get herself in trouble sometimes, and just because she's so innocent when it comes to the dirty minds of humans. But anyway, so empathy. They're not there for. She's not like Mantis on Guardians of the Galaxy. She's not picking up on people's malintentions.
So to be clear, Disney, you can't sue anyone here.
So do you actually draw the heroes versus the villains differently?
I think I just sort of try and have an attitude that sort of pokes through.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have Naia sort of larger than life. Her expressions are really big. Her eyes are really big. And that's sort of what I'm going through. And then obviously with the villains and whatnot, they basically look like they need to take a poop or something. You know what I mean? They're just sort of always I really have to go to the bathroom and I can't get it out. This pent up anger and whatnot. But
so now we know what Chad looks like if he needs to be excused for the restroom.
Yeah, if I get resting jerk face, there's something brewing. That's I gotta go bury the food baby. But
that just happened on live stream. Okay. All right.
Anywho, you never know what you're gonna get on the live stream, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, at this point, like I said, I do the gesture. The gesture is basically like the underlying anatomy, and then so Naia actually has her normal sort of what I call her Sailor Moon Lolita dress, which is sort of very pastel, very froofy, because she's just has that fun personality. And then I have the little bit of the battle acumen that goes with it. And then when I draw it though, I draw it in layers. And so I think with both the covers that we've done for Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and I don't know if did Jimmy say it was okay to show you guys the covers?
Yeah, Gemma was like, he can show whatever he wants to show because I love you guys. And
Is that what you're not setting me up to get killed later on, are you? You wouldn't want to do that, right?
I mean, I would be the person that gets in trouble and be entirely worth it. No, I haven't seen anything about the covers. I'm sure we can show the covers that are being shown on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I think that would probably we probably shouldn't do that either. Sorry, guys.
I don't know.
Realistic.
No cover for you.
Whose idea was to do this without the person who really knows what's going on?
We're learning very quickly
the authority.
If we don't ask Gemma for permission, it's much easier to beg for forgiveness.
You know, that's very true. That is very true. So anyway, okay. So I'm just doing basically the dress underneath, and then I will basically put in. Now, you got to remember this is in the future, so the clothing and the gadgets and the gizmos, I like to explain everything with technobabble. And I basically say that, you know, everything they're wearing is smart clothing, and everything, all the little utility belt, Batman, Iron Man / surprises that the heroes have stashed under their sleeves. They're all like, they're smart weapons, they're smart clothing. For example, the boots are magnetic so that they can walk in zero gravity. I don't know if do you guys watch The Expanse at all? Do you ever?
I haven't yet. It's on my my list to.
Yeah, please do. It's such a great. It is such a great underrated show, and I know there's like all this fever right now for the Mando, and don't get me wrong, you know, a well-deserved fever for the Mando because let's face it, the Mando's pretty dope. But at the same time, I do think if you have if you are a fan of, okay, and science fiction to me is divided into two camps. You basically have fantasy in outer space, which is sci-fi, and then you have real science fiction that, you know, basically predicts, you know, tries to make some type of prediction of the future and is a commentary on the human condition. And as much as I love Star Wars, this is not a dig. Let's face it, it's space wizards, right? So, you know, it's basically sci-fi. The Expanse, though, is science fiction. It's hard science fiction. They have a few things that they explain with magic, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff they really try to, you know, for example, there's no gravity on the ships. There's unless there's some type of centrifugal force going on, there's no gravity, or there's reduced gravity, and people who live in 0G or close to 0G environments, they can't go to Mars or Earth because, you know, they've been born in space and they literally can't tolerate, you know, high gravity environments and things like that. So I love the fact that I love The Expanse, and I draw a lot of inspiration, you know, from those ideas. But those, like I said, those ideas actually come from science and sort of being a nerd, and knowing that if we're ever going to go and we're ever going to have like a colony on the moon or a colony on Mars, that these are some of the things that we're going to have to figure out before we get there. So, but anyway, give it a watch. It is if you enjoyed Battlestar Galactica, the reboot.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's very much sort of the heir to that legacy. The show started on Sci-Fi Channel, and it was too big budget. And fortunately, Amazon bought up the rights, and I think like the last 2 seasons have been on Amazon, and they've just been killer. But I want to make sure that everybody knows and watches, because, you know, as much as fans love to divide things, you know, you see this on social media all the time, where, you know, it'd be like, hey, you got to pick one or the other. You got to pick DC or Marvel. You got, you know,
What are you talking about? I haven't seen anybody divided on social media.
Yeah,
Ever.
right. We're a giant hive mind, and we all get along. You know, I hate seeing stuff like that because I'm just like, you know what? I don't have to choose. I can watch it all. I can enjoy it all, or I can hate it all. And but I don't have to get in somebody's face about hating it all. But you know, definitely watch The Expanse and support science fiction as a genre, because otherwise we're just going to get more. What's the one that's trending now on Netflix? Brighterton, you know, more Downton Abbey. Otherwise, we're going to get more Downton Abbey. Okay?
No.
That's right. Unless you want to watch the Kardashians, listen to Chad.
There you go. There you go.
He's trying to help you.
Do you actually do you tend to draw Naia more like from the eye level, or like bird's eye view, or like the worm's eye view, or you said you draw more larger than life? I was just
so eye level in a drawing is just that. It's eye level. So with this one, I'm basically, the perspective is straight on, and I'm basically looking at Naia in this drawing as if I were Naia's height. Okay, if I were looking at Naia from my height, it would be more of a bird's eye view, because I think Naia is like 5'2", and I'm 6'1", so there would be a little bit of a distortion there. And then if I were shorter, like if I was Willow Umpgood, I would be looking up at Naia, and there'd be more of a lower camera angle. So but I'm basically just, the default is always just eye level. So I'm just drawing her straight on. But in the comics, especially like her being next to Edith, I often have to do like a high camera angle so I can get Edith's face and Naia's face in the same shot. Because otherwise, like, you know, Edith is almost 7 feet tall. And Naia, you know, so I mean, Naia is basically almost, you know, coming in at chest line there. So you have to think about those things sometimes when you draw the panel, but not so much when you're just doing like a default pose. So there's, you know, I think I've got this. I'll do the whole layer duplicate thing. So I mean, I have everything pretty much blocked in. At this point, I can come in and I can clean things up. You know, get rid of some of that underlying construction. Oops. Take away some of that anatomy that I don't really need anymore. And in that way, man, I just had like a major deja vu moment. That was weird. There's a glitch in the Matrix, guys. So, you know, Agent Smith's going to pop out. But, oops.
So Edith is a character, and the overall design that you've done with Edith has changed quite a bit from original inception. And
so is Naia. I mean, you guys got to see some of the concept art, and I mean, yeah, I mean,
originally, like, Naia had the horns and everything.
Right, she had the horns because we were, you know, trying to figure that out, and I think Gemma always had like a constant vision of what she wanted Naia to look like, and I sort of had to play with it. Like I wasn't sold on the whole fluffy bunny ear thing. But then as I've drawn the comic, like I start to understand, why Gemma, you know, is making some of the decisions she's doing, because Naia is not, even though she's lethal, she's not a lethal personality. Okay. She's more of a almost like an avenging spirit type of thing. So but that was one of the things I really struggled with. I'm like, well, if she's supposed to be sort of like this, you know, kick butt mercenary, you know, we've got to make her look threatening. And Jim was like, no, we don't. You know, trust me on this. And so, when you're reading her description and it's like lethal, you know, deadly, you know, a lot of my first concept sketches of Naia were very sort of dark, you know, and very, you know, sort of ominous. And then, and Jim has slowly had to sort of turn that ship around to more of a bubbly, carefree personality. And another essential detail with Naia is the freckles on her face, because you can't have that bubbly personality without freckles. Everyone knows you have to have freckles. So once I get it to like this point, I usually, let me just get a few more of the, like the little landmarks for the anatomy. At this point, I usually sort of turn off my pencil layer and start inking. Or if I was working traditionally, I would just whip out my gas and fundi. I like to draw with a nylon brush. And I think a lot of that happened because I did so much drawing on the road that I would take my like Raphael 8404s and things like that to comic conventions, and they would just get destroyed in the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would get mishandled in the baggage claim, and you know, you get to the room and all of a sudden your $40 brush is, you know, looking like a chewed up straw. And so I got used to the gas and fundis because they have a cap on them and they're a lot more portable. And then I've just gotten so good at inking with them because I used to be, before COVID, I was on the road all the time. I don't know how that happened. But now it's just sort of, even when I'm at home, I prefer the gas and fundi, which is horrible. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense because they are pretty expensive markers. And you're only going to get about one page of drawing out of them basically before the ink runs out. But at the same time, it's just like I like the look and the effect so much that it sort of overrides my, you know, my financial sense on the practicality side. So I'm turning the layer down. I'm actually going like really light, which is making it hard for you guys to see, but what that's going to do. And then some people, okay, so this is an option. You can come in and you can create a new layer. And have you guys ever heard of the whole blue lining? Have you ever heard that expression?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, that's where this comes in. A lot of people, if they're doing digital art, they'll come in and they'll do this blue line. And what allows this to happen is, and especially if they're working digitally, they'll print out the page at this point on a piece of bristle, and then they'll send it to the inker looking just like this. And then the inker will ink it based off of this blue line. And when the inker's done and he goes to scan it, he can just, you know, push a button in Photoshop and all the color goes away, and you're just left with the black line art. So so that's what blue lines are called. So if you ever hear someone like, yeah, I like to ink on blue lines, basically it usually means that the penciler has either scanned their pencils or they drew it digitally, and then they're sending the inker just this scanned blue line image, and then the inker's inking off of that and not the other artwork. So, you know, lots of times with modern comics, there's actually a penciled version of the comic original, and then there's an inked version of the comic original. So if you ever hear that expression, that's what they're talking about. So some people do that, and it also helps. Sometimes it helps to have for people to see like which is what they've actually inked and what's actually penciled. I like to use red, and that's also because when I travel on the road, I usually draw with a red color erase. I used to do the blue, but the blue doesn't blend well with Copics. So let me undo that real quick.
And so with what you were talking about earlier with the transition over into inking, do you normally ink your own drawings, Chad?
For the longest, oof, man, my Apple Pencil is geeking out. For the longest time, I didn't. For the longest time, I just penciled, and I was straight pencils. Whoa, wow, oof. Let's get a new eraser in there. But it was really funny. So some of the first books I did were for Boom Studios, and with Boom, I just did really tight pencils, and then they went to colors straight over my what are called rendered pencils, and that's just you render your pencils so tightly that they effectively do the job of both penciling and inking at the same time. Why? Oh, okay. I was like, why is this so light? And it's because my opacity's turned down. And then after Boom, I went to Marvel and DC, and Marvel and DC at the time, they always had an inker on the book. So they never wanted to do finished pencils just because it was problematic. It was, finished pencils was basically at Marvel sort of viewed as like a rookie move. Okay. And in hindsight, now that I'm older, I can totally see that and get it. I didn't get it at the time. But a lot of times what happens is when you're doing rendered pencils, you don't get the true black. And so what happens is when you go to color it, it looks muddy. The colors turn out muddy. Mm-hmm. So, optimally, you just want that ink line, and then you want all the other artifacts of the pencils and the preliminary process to go away, so that you can get like a really pristine, crisp line, and then the colorist can just come in and perform their coloring kung fu, and obviously
coloring kung fu.
Yeah, and then obviously with Marvel and DC, you have the best colorists on the planet. So and honestly, like colorists are probably the biggest unsung heroes in comics today. And I mean, it's only been within the last year that they even started to credit the colorists on the covers of the books, which is just insane because a good colorist will make or break a book. Mm-hmm. And if you have a good colorist, that book's going to sell. And you have a crappy colorist, and it'll torpedo your project. It really will. So, but anyway, so
well, one sec here, Chad. We have to ruin a ongoing joke, unfortunately. We're going to do it because we love Rose. Rose Kirby asked, did you say that there's a badge code? If so, what time? I can't stay up long. I'm getting over a shock. It's 2:35 a.m. here. She is in the UK, and she does have difficult with her vision. Okay. So she may not have seen this comment earlier, but Rose, I'm going to pull this back up just for you. The secret badge code is all the sweets with no spaces.
Okay.
We were trying to see how long it would take for Chad to see.
I will refrain myself from stopping the drawing right now and then mad typing that in.
Oh, and this is cool. Other people in chat started posting up what it was, just so that she didn't get left out. Thank you, guys.
Good.
Killer community.
What a good, I was about to say good for the community. Good for the community. So back to the inks. I got really accustomed to having a really good inker, especially at DC. Wayne Foucher for the longest time at DC. I want to say almost like 4 years. Wayne Foucher and I worked together, and then I left DC to go work with Stan Lee and Mark Waid on The Traveler, mm-hmm. And it was it was so funny. So I basically went back to Boom, and I should have known, because I'd worked for Boom before, that if it was going to be inked, I was going to be the one inking it. But for some reason, I'd been at Marvel and DC for so long, when I went back to Boom, I just was like, okay, so who am I sending this to ink? And they're like, you are. And I'm like, okay, who am I sending? I know that I need to send it to someone. Who am I sending it to? And they're like, you're sending it to you. You're doing the inks. And I'm like, wait a second, So I taught myself to ink on The Traveler. On the fly. And I think I inked some of my first pages with Sharpie, which is a giant no-no. giant no-no. Anyway.
Can you explain why?
Why
you wouldn't recommend that for anybody learning?
First of all, a Sharpie is basically an alcohol-based marker. And with alcohol-based inks, number one, nothing... first of all, Sharpies bleed like crazy, number one. So it's really hard for you to get a really crisp line. And then number two, they never actually stop bleeding. They just, I have a vodka bottle signed by 50 Cent over here in the corner. And if you look at his signature on that label, it slowly over the years has just sort of become this green purple blob.
So hold on, you had vodka with 50 Cent?
Yeah, 50 Cent has his own. It's called effing vodka.
Let's pause the drawing here for just a moment.
Do I need to go get the bottle of vodka?
I feel like there's a backstory to this that we're missing out on.
Oh,
how did Chad Hardin get a bottle of vodka from 50 Cent?
It was a gift. It was a gift from another comic professional. Yeah. They're like, hey, man, do you like 50 Cent? I was like, I love 50 Cent.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Chad Hardin goes hard.
It's my birthday. Anyway,
so can you put a speech bubble on this drawing and put "get sweets or die trying"?
Oh yeah, yeah, we can. Oh, that's a horrible speech. That was a Darwin fish for a second there.
Yeah, see, even chat was already in on it. Wait, what? That's its own story. Dish on the vodka.
Where were we going with this? I forgot. Yeah, so you don't want to ink with Sharpies, okay? And so I went from inking with a Sharpie to inking with illustration markers, like the Prismacolor, Micron / Touch markers, which are all basically the same. I think the Touch are probably the best illustration markers I've ever used. And then I finally graduated all the way up to like the Raphael 8404s, which are about the same quality of inking brush as the Winsor Newtons. And by the end of the Traveler, I mean, I was doing some insane stuff as far as the inks go. But there's no better teacher than experience, and that's basically what it was. It was sort of a do or die, get it done. And in comics, it's not like a salaried position or an hourly position. You're getting paid a straight page rate, and so if it takes you like 5 years to ink a page, you're going to make the same amount of money in 5 years as you would if you ink that page in 20 minutes. So the faster you are, the more money you make. And I got to the point where I could basically pencil and ink 2 Traveler pages a day.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
So, and it took a year to do, but I got to where I could do that. So, and it was a lot of fun. And I do think that inking my own stuff, that I noticed that when I came back to DC. So after Traveler, I went and I almost was the artist on Star Wars. I was slated to be the Star Wars artist for Dark Horse. And no sooner had I basically agreed to the book, did Disney bought out Marvel, and the Star Wars contract went back to Marvel. And so I just missed my opportunity to work on a Star Wars book. And instead I went and did Dragon Age for BioWare and Dark Horse. And that was insane because that basically I was never aware of like how huge gaming was until I started working on BioWare, because all of a sudden that was like my first real big like people are paying attention to what you're doing moment. Is when I started working on Dragon Age. There is a huge rabid fan community built around Dragon Age, and they are no joke. Gaming communities, they take their properties very seriously. There was a Dragon Age comic before mine, and basically it was laughed out of the industry because it was such a detachment from the video game. You could tell that whoever did the book, they handled it. They not that they handled it poorly, they handled it separately, without like going to BioWare and being like, hey, what's your vision for this? They basically just sort of had the license and they made a book and they put it in the same universe. And the fan reaction was not optimal. But we were very fortunate when we worked on Dragon Age. It was David Gator who wrote Dragon Age for the games. And the books were actually canon. and they said that going in. And so we had, I had hackers hacking into my computer to steal my pages. I'll never forget one time.
Wow.
Yeah, my editor, Dave Marshall, called me up and was like, "Hey, why are you sharing pages on the internet? You should know better than that." I was like, "I haven't shared anything." And they're like, "Well, how'd they get these pages?" And someone had gone into my email and got the pages that I was sending to David, and was posting it on a Russian Dragon Age fan site. So,
holy crap!
So that was my first introduction to hey, maybe your password shouldn't be 12345, or I don't know, whatever it was, but and that was sort of my first introduction to people were actually starting to pay attention to what I was doing as far as my artwork was concerned, because it was a big deal. It was a really big deal for me. When I got done with Dragon Age, DC called me back, and before, when I was at Marvel and DC both, I was basically the fill-in guy, which if you're not familiar with what that is, basically he's the fill-in guy is the artist they send in to save the book so it ships on time. And what was happening at Marvel and DC both is I'd be given scripts where the artist or the creative team was extremely late, and they were going to miss their diamond ship date. And
that's a big no-no.
Yeah, it's a huge no-no. Yeah. And I'd have to come in and basically, draw the entire book. Sometimes the entire book in like 7 days. And so I was really good at saving the books and making sure that they went to market on time. But lots of times, like if you read my reviews, they were not very flattering, because it was like, oh, this artwork looks terrible. It looks rushed. Who's this hack? And you know what? I mean, honestly, they were valid critiques, but what they didn't understand, like if I hadn't hit that deadline, then not only would the book be canceled, because if you miss your diamond ship date, all orders are returnable, which means basically everybody's going to cancel their order on the book to get their money back. And then, so not only have you screwed up, the book, you've also screwed your inker, your writers, your colorist, your editor. If you want to get fired in comics, miss your diamond ship date. Okay. But anyway, so I was the guy that they called in to basically save the book from being canceled. It's not easy to do. And back then it was 20, I think when I started, it was 24 pages a book, and then it was like 22. And then by the time I left, it was 20. And now I think it's 16. I think it's 16 pages of like the official story. And then they have like a 6-page filler story that goes in every book. So, and that might have changed. I mean, things change all the time, but so it was really hard to basically, be given a week or 7 days, and then and basically be told, yeah, we only have 1 page of artwork. We need 21 pages, and what we normally gave the other artist, we gave the other artist an entire month, and they blew it. Now we need you to come in and basically save the book in 7 days. And so, don't get me wrong. At the time, I was thankful to have any job at Marvel and DC. But when you're talking about your reputation, especially with fans, fans don't understand that there's all this stuff is happening behind the scenes. They just go to the comic book store. They expect to pick up their book. They want it to look the way they want it to look, and then they open it up and they see this art that is just slammed together as fast as possible. And and they're going to have a bad reaction. And so so one of the things that was nice about breaking away from Marvel and DC, going to Boom with Mark Waid, and going to BioWare at Dark Horse, is they basically put me on their headliner books, their top tier books, and those books, like I said, those books did well. Traveler broke all records for Boom at the time. I'm sure those records have all been broken with Rick and Morty and Power Rangers by now. But at the time, we were the number one. We were the number one book at Boom, and that was exciting. And so I got the taste of what it was like to basically not be the fill-in guy, but to be the, like the series artist, so to speak. And then that way, when I came back to DC, instead of being given the books where it's like, yeah, we don't care about this title, they were putting me on books because I had chops, so to speak. And it wasn't too long before, that's when Harley rolled around. So, so that's it's one of the things that got me Harley. But anyway, so yeah, does that answer the question? How did this? What was the question that we originally started with?
We started with Sharpies.
Yeah, Sharpies.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, what happened is even when I came back to DC, I asked for Wayne because Wayne had inked me, and we had like a really good simpatico going where like I could pencil it, Wayne would ink it, it would look fantastic. But what happened is we'd been separated for 2 years, working on different projects, and then when we came back together, like I assumed like we would come back and we'd pick up exactly where we left off, and instead it's like we had to like relearn everything again. And I'm just like going, I can't go through this phase where we have to like retrain how to work together. And so I've been used to doing it all myself at Boom and at Dark Horse. And so when I came back after a couple of issues, I basically just started doing everything for myself at DC, and that really got people's attention. That's when people started paying attention to me, and I got enough notoriety that I was considered for some of their big books. And but yeah, so that's how that happened. So my advice, if you are a comic book professional, and it's funny, now you see comic book professionals that are doing the pencils, the inks, and the colors. They're doing all three. I don't know how they do it, because in my opinion, that's an insane amount of work. But they do. Matter of fact, the new artist on Harley does all three. So,
Oh, wow.
Hats off to him. Because I ain't doing it. I am not doing it. I'm gonna go grab Enrica in Italy and let her make Naia a million times prettier than I could. So
speaking,
and I like working with the team. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. But.
I was just gonna ask, like, how do you actually, when you're designing Naia to begin with? I mean, there is a kind of an inner strength to her without being like over sexualized, which is kind of a rarity in comics. How are you able to kind of achieve that?
Well, that once again, that really comes from Gemma. We both wanted a book that was all ages.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, we're in Utah. I have 4 children. They're all grown now. My youngest is 16. And if something were to happen to me, she'd be fine. You know what I mean? She's basically got all the Jedi training she needs. She's Obi-Wan Kenobi at this point. And I'm about to, go throw my pencil make a ruckus, but she'd be fine without me. She's basically raised. But at the time, I would be drawing stuff for DC, and my kids would come in, and they'd get that look on their face, that like and I hated that. It would kill me, I'm doing something I'm really proud of and I really like, and then I have these daughters, and their reaction was just like, yeah, she needs to put on a sweater. You know what I mean? And so when I teamed up with Gemma, that was one of the things that we really wanted. We wanted something that we could draw, that the whole family could read, that everybody could enjoy, that wouldn't exclude anybody. And I think, I mean, honestly, like I think anything that's well drawn is sexy. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, like when I was a kid, my favorite characters weren't. It wasn't like the people who like I attached to, you know, that I had like these emotional bonds with. It didn't matter what they were wearing. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the relationships like in your mind, so to speak. And so, you know, I see it all the time where, you know, people will, you know, they'll try and, you know, make like a really fast emotional connection by, you know, taking clothes off. And I think that can happen so long as anything's well drawn. So I really just sort of focus on things being well drawn. You're never going to stop your fans from, you know, doing whatever they want. I don't know if you guys have ever read the Kirk Spock fanfic. Have you ever dwelled into that?
No, I can't say I've gone into that one.
You know, your fans are, yeah, your fans are gonna, you know, they're gonna do whatever they want. You know, once you release your property into the universe, there, you know, it's theirs. It's no longer yours. It's theirs, and they're gonna run with it however they want to run with it. And I think that's they call that Rule 34, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So you know, so I don't worry about that at all. I focus on drawing everything as well as I can, but you know, and trying to make everything look as aesthetically pleasing, and making something that appeals to the widest audience possible. So so that's what I focus on. I don't necessarily focus on, and nothing against people who I have a lot of friends who you know, I have idols that you know, they draw comics that are for a mature audience, and I completely 100% support them. It's not something where I'm passing judgment on people. It's just something where it's like, hey, this is my situation. This is where I'm coming from. This is my comfort zone, and I'm going to play within my comfort zone. So I'm not talking, and I'm not talking down to anybody. You know, whatever people want to do, that they should be free to do it. It's just we wanted to make Temerity specifically something everybody in the family could enjoy, and that way no one's left out. And I think sometimes that happens when you have a mature book. So
okay.
Yeah.
So we had a question about you're not using Photoshop.
You know, I do know Photoshop though, so go ahead and ask the Photoshop question.
I was just saying that I was going to make a comment of the fact that you're using Procreate, which I gotta say, horrible name, great app. So what brush are you using?
I am using a brush that I made, and it's basically a variation on the pencil brush. So if you go into Procreate and you go to your drawing, let's see. No, sorry, sketching. Go into sketching, and you have all these options. Select the 6B pencil, and Procreate changes their stuff all the time. But I've gone in. I basically started with the 6B, and then I think, let me see if I can find some of these things that I did. My spacing is almost 0, if I can find. So spacing, okay, so no spacing. Anyway, I basically tweaked the 6B pencil so it looks like it's inked. And then I'll just, when I'm done, I'll go into levels and just take anything that's still a little bit gray and just push it into that black area. Because I sort of like having that pencil feel. I always felt like I was a way better penciler than I was an inker. So I sort of like having everything have that pencil feel. Oh, and then I forgot to switch back to my brush. But yeah, you can see, you know, Chad's holding lines. And then I have, some of these are just stolen straight out of, one of the things I love about Procreate, if someone has a brush you like and you're drawing together on an iPad, you can hit airdrop and drop that brush to them. So it's really fun. Like if you're drawing comics with like your students or whatnot, you know, you can press a button. And so some of these are just halftones. And if you, it's very important that if you have a brush that you like, that you tweak it and you save a version of it that's different from Procreate's, because I loved Procreate's original halftone brush. And then when they updated Procreate, they took away the old halftone brush and they put in a new crappy halftone brush. So like if there's a brush you like, you need to like tweak it and save it as your own, and not just leave it in there, because otherwise like Procreate will do an update and all your brushes like go away.
Ooh.
So yeah. So anyway, I got splatter brushes. I got a really nice inking brush. So this is my inker. If I'm going for something that looks, you know, completely smooth, can you guys see the difference?
Oh yeah.
So like that's, you know, like if I'm going for like a fine hair, thin type of dealio. I have a this is my thumbprint brush, which I'm told I'm not supposed to use on the internet because people could use it to hack into my.
Yeah, you should probably quit. Chad,
Yeah.
There's a live show.
It's not my thumb. It's not my thumb.
It might be someone's thumb.
Well, if they find that device, all power to them, right? And then I got like hair brushes. This is more for painting. I mean, I don't think I'd ever use this, you know, inking something. Maybe I could. Let's try it though. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, take it or leave it. But so what happens is I'll be working on an art piece and I'll be like, okay, I need a brush that does this, and I'll make the brush rather than go and hunt. And don't get me wrong, I have like all of Kyle Webster's brushes and things like that. But I do think it's like really important to learn how to make your own brushes. I'll give you an example. I have like 4 or 5 brushes just for bullet holes. And then I have like 4 or 5 brushes just for shell casings. And then I actually have bird brushes and things like that. So like if I'm drawing like I don't know if you guys remember, there's a Harley book where it was Jimmy and Amanda decided like Harley adopted like 100 or 1,000 birds, or it was like some insane amount. It was insane. And I think I drew like 12 birds, and then I just loaded them into this brush, and then I would just go in and just tap, and the birds would just appear. And I had enough birds that people had a hard time spotting the pattern. Does that make sense? Where you had enough differentiation going on that you can sort of, you know, tweak the angles and you can flip them, and you know, and so all of a sudden, you know, your 12 birds turn into about like, you know, I don't know, 50 birds, so to speak. And then out of those 50 birds, like, you know, it gets really hard for people to spot those patterns. But anyway, so there's just stuff like that you do to save yourself time, because otherwise you're drawing every stupid bird by hand. And once again, you're getting paid by the page, not by the hour. So, so yeah, so get good at, I'm still on that old hairbrush.
Speaking of getting paid, we're an hour into the stream right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment and play the little commercial for Runaway.
Let's do it.
So this will be coming up here pretty soon for everybody that's in chat, watching along, drawing along.
Oh, I'm so
sure
excited.
Chad will keep drawing, but we'll catch right back up with them here in a second. But I want to say that the activation powers sequence in this commercial cannot be missed. So
I was like, this is so cool of you guys to make a video.
Oh, after I saw this.
Oh, this needs to be burned with
So so everybody make sure you watch for that part with Chad.
Okay, I'm gonna watch.
This is gonna turn into a meme real soon.
Oh my gosh.
Do you need someone taken out? Or a high-profile individual protected? Or maybe you just need someone to pick up the pizza? Well, look no further. We have the team just for you. Meet 1U1523, or Teru if you can't remember numbers, and Naia. These two are the best work-for-hire duo in the galaxy. Don't believe me? Check out their impressive resumes. Okay, so maybe they don't look so good on paper, but trust me, they're formidable. Welcome to the temerity.
Hi, my name's Chad Hardin. I've been drawing comics for 14 years, and hopefully you've read and seen some of my work in Harley Quinn.
Hi, I'm Gemma Young, the writer of Temerity. I've been developing comics since I was in junior high, and I started self-publishing Children of Elder in 2012.
Me and Gemma started working together on Temerity over 2 years ago. I wanted to do a sci-fi comic that had a fantasy element, and Gemma said, well, I have an idea. Gemma read me the first chapter as we drove home from an exhausting convention. I hadn't slept in days, but the story was so interesting that it kept me awake the whole trip home. We've been waiting for the right time for this to happen, and that time is now.
Temerity is about Teru, a genetically enhanced super soldier who escapes the project that created him. He ends up on the Temerity, working for a work-for-hire group. He's teamed up with Naia, who's a crazy sugar-addicted marksman, and she helps him get acquainted with life outside the military as they take on fun, over-the-top jobs.
This is a great story, great art that helps you escape, lots of fun pop culture references, lots of humor sprinkled throughout, an engaging comic that will keep you coming back for more. I love working with Gemma. She's organized and has it all together where I don't. And really the number one thing is we're friends. We have a lot of similar interests, including Japanese comics, or as kids call them today, manga. Another great thing is I think my sensibilities are geared towards my generation, whereas hers are geared towards the up-and-coming generation, the people who will keep comics alive. That speaks to people who want to read comics now. Putting us together creates a captivating dynamic. She's good at writing love interest, character development, and I'm good at drawing spaceships, ninjas, robots, things like that. Hopefully it'll be like Wonder Twin powers activate.
Wonder Twin's powers activate!
In the form of an ice pencil!
In the form of a fluffy cat!
We have put so much thought and research into providing rewards for our backers. In addition to getting exclusive first print run copies of the comics, you'll also get the chance to get your hands on guest art prints, CGC-rated books, metal trading cards, and even some experiential rewards. Of course, that list will grow substantially as we reach our stretch goals. We are excited to announce that if this really takes off, we are going to partner with the famed game designer Sandy Peterson, creator of the Cthulhu Wars series, and develop a board game to be released in a future campaign.
Thank you for checking out our video.
I hope you'll pledge to our campaign. Thanks!
Thanks!
Oh boy.
I gotta say, come on, Fry.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
In the form of dirty bathwater.
Oh, whoa.
In the form of a COVID bat. Oh, you guys should have seen the blooper reel on that. I
would love to see.
I have never done anything for like any type of recording. I had to read that. I mean, Jimma was so ready to kill me. Like, she got it first thing. She just got up in front of the camera and set her line. She was done. I was like the 100 take guy. It was a nightmarish hell. And I'm surprised our friendship persevered. I mean, it was that video. So and it's funny that came up. I think the other day, someone on Facebook asked if videos were essential to crowdfunding campaigns, and I was like emphatic, nope, not at all. Like, you do not need to have them. But it's that actually was sort of a lot of fun though too.
That's cool. I dig it.
So
we're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Oh yes, you are. You have blackmail material now. So yeah, have to go scouting for something on you, Andrew.
Hey, it's out there. It's not hard to find. We're friends on social media. It'll take you 3 seconds on something.
I'll bribe them with the drawing. Like, hey, so you like that drawing, huh?
Well, if that's the case, I got plenty of
They're like 5 seconds.
Let me show you this extra hard drive I've been keeping around for
yeah.
So I would like to take the opportunity to say, though, that in the video, some of the crowdfunding goals and I guess we'll say giveaways that go along with those crowdfunding goals may change. So keep that in mind as we get closer to the launch of The Runaway. Just because I I am pretty sure there are things in there that or things that are not included in the video that I've seen that might be a part of it that are pretty exciting.
Well, and now the other thing that's important to note is that was with the first campaign. So Jim might have a completely different lineup planned as far as stretch goals. So that video is for Temerity 1, the Sayonara. And so who knows what she's going to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to have stretch goals, but yeah, don't get that confused. Don't get that video confused with what we're doing with Sayonara or the Runway. That was. And I have
seen
Temerity 1.
I've seen some of the things that Gemma's got up her sleeve, and it's going to be rad. There's some
I was
really
super
cool
excited about those.
Well, she just dropped, and I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but she just dropped like a major bombshell the other day on the internet, and I don't know. It's really interesting to see like which Temerity fans follow you over to your social media. I mean, I definitely know that I have Temerity fans that follow me from Webtoons to my social, but I also have a lot of fans that don't. And Gemma actually released a new Foresight sticker. Did you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and if you know Foresight was the Daijin that died saving Teru, right? And she just released a new Foresight sticker where she's wearing an Enlightenment outfit, which means that she didn't die at the Battle of Yamamoto Station, that she was captured and now is working. So whether, and I have no idea what Gemma has planned. I don't know if like she's, the Manchurian candidate. I don't know if she was a double agent, but it was a major bombshell, and I don't know how many people like picked up on it, but it's
there were quite a few.
Yeah,
there were quite a few from what I saw.
Yeah,
one of the few good things on social media today. I noticed.
I know, right? Oh, today was such a horrible day for the internet. Oh my gosh.
That's not true. We're on the internet talking to you. I think it's a
That's
great
right.
day.
Hey, this is a puking rally. We are making a comeback. We are single-handedly trying to beam happiness into your brains today. So
be happy.
Be happy, damn it. Be happy for everyone. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. You don't look happy.
Comply. That was nuts. Was that sounded like Dark Jared? Is that Dark Jared? Where'd you get that sound clip from?
I just made it real time.
Did you?
That's what
wow. Nice. Look at you, man.
I know. I'm
DJ Andrew.
I've got buttons.
I got buttons. I love it.
Yeah, this is my Chad button.
Oh,
you might have heard it earlier.
Nice. I love it.
This is my M. Scott Russell button. I think it's fitting.
I'll take it.
What, are you like a villain on Scooby-Doo?
It's not the first time he's called me a villain, so I'm okay with that.
Are you? Okay. Oh, hey, we got Boo. Come here, Boo. Office dog Boo just decided to join us. Come here, Boo.
This is the sound effect for when Gemma gets angry that we might have leaked something that wasn't supposed to be leaked about a comic book.
Ooh. I thought that was Jared's sound effect.
Do it again.
Jared does it too. Because Jared's normally the one that leaks everything. He's like, hey, did you guys see that last episode of Mandalorian? Like, don't you do it, don't you do it, don't you do it.
And it was like two minutes past like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We're like maybe like 1% of the population.
Like you couldn't have even seen the ending unless you skipped the rest of it already. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, it was so
Jared's
good.
Good about that.
So good though.
See, everybody used to always ask me, like about movies and stuff, like, oh, you already seen this one? So how did it end? And I'm like, do you really want me to tell you? Yeah. And then I'd tell them and they'd get mad that, oh, you spoiled it for me. I'm like, well, you told me to. So I just started telling everybody dies. It didn't matter what show it was, what movie. It could be the new Disney movie.
You're that friend. You're that.
Oh, yeah.
The dog dies at the end. Don't watch it.
The other spoiler. the dog dies.
Did you see that new Captain America? Yeah, he had to shoot his dog at the end. What? Just saying.
Man.
Nobody's Illusion on Twitch says, yes, this has been a welcome distraction. Oh,
Yay.
that's wholesome. That's wholesome
right.
entertainment.
That is. For the whole family.
Illusion says, is Gemma even watching right now? If so, hi. I hope not. I'm going to be in a lot of trouble if she has been.
Yeah, if she was watching, I think I'd be dead. I can feel, like, I literally can sort of feel the disturbance in the force. Like, when I've upset Gemma, it's just like, uh-oh, here he comes.
So maybe you need that sound.
I don't know. I think we need to get like I don't know, some type of horrible, just like almost like the Psycho, like when the Psycho stab, the like just like psychically reaching out with the daggers, just.
Oh no, Gemma, we love you.
We'll
I swear.
We'll see if she's watching. I'm sure she is. She probably had to put the kids to bed, and then she'll watch.
That's right. I'll just set this up. So anytime we start talking about Tamara, and then everyone's going to be fine because nobody's going to know that I actually read the new comic already.
All of a sudden, we turn into an episode of ridiculousness. Oh my gosh, that. You guys ever watch that show?
Yes.
That's all that show is. I'm like, why? What is? Can we just stop? That's what my 2 a.m. go-to is ridiculousness. It's like, it used to be Murder Show, but then I've watched every single episode of Forensic Files to the point where I memorized the murder story, and so now my go-tos are ridiculousness.
See, my wife watches those all the time, those murder shows, and I'm always like, are you trying to figure out how to get away with a perfect murder?
She's researching, dude.
Yeah, you're like, I love you, honey.
So I'll go to bed. I'll start thinking about every single thing I've done.
Yeah.
Like, no, that was 10 years ago. She wouldn't still be met. Wait
a second.
She would.
Come to think of it, she just asked me to sign that new insurance policy.
Always wondered why everything is in her name.
Well, see, and this is a true story. This is a true story. So I don't ever actually watch television. I listen to television. Okay, I mean, it's just like right now. Like right now, I'm drawing this picture of Naia. If the TV was on, my head is face down in the drawing. I don't see anything going on, which is one of the reasons why I actually liked Forensic Files, because it's all basically talking. It's all like interviews of the police officers and whatnot. And so, there's this one time, Jim was on the road with me we're doing the conventions and whatnot, and I'm in the room drawing, and I turn on Forensic Files, and like after like 30 minutes of watching Forensic Files, Jim just goes, "Can we change the channel?" And I look up, and there's like this small young girl that's been like brutally murdered in like the most horrible way, roughly resembling Gemma. I'm like, yeah, we can probably. Maybe it's a good idea that we don't watch this stuff. But I mean, like, if you actually watch it, they're very gross. They're very graphic. But if you're listening, it's just sort of intriguing. So now it's all podcasts. It's all true crime podcasts and Dateline podcasts and anywho. But yeah, that's the truth. It was so funny though. I felt so bad because like Jim is in the corner like I'm gonna get murdered. But I did the same thing like The Big Lebowski. I've never actually seen The Big Lebowski. I've just listened to the movie like a million times. It's all about the dialogue. I was shocked.
Does that mean that you can't do the dance? You can't do the Lebowski dance?
There's a dance? Does he actually dance?
Oh yeah, when he's on like the staircase.
Can you
Are,
show
are,
us?
you, are you are you being serious? Are you serious that
I'm-
he doesn't dance on the staircase?
Yeah, there's Big Lebowski dance on the staircase. There's like a whole GIF about it.
Can you
We all try
can
to
you
find a
do it,
clip of it.
Fry? No. Don't look for a clip. See if you can do it.
Are you sure? I'm good at finding clips. I just found a clip of Gemma from what Chad was just talking about,
Let's
being
see.
terrified of his television.
I see dead people.
It's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Poor
Oh,
Gemma.
I know.
Poor Gemma.
I know. No, I do. I think there's a strong Hardin family tradition of showing inappropriate movies to young children. My dad put on Saving Private
Should
Ryan.
probably reword that. We're live on the internet. Right
Oh
now.
well, okay. Yeah, R-rated movies like Saving Private Ryan to 4-year-olds. Yeah, you know. My dad's like, "Hey, this is a great movie." And then, like 5 minutes into the storming of Normandy Beach, where there's like the guy who's putting his guts back into his stomach. My 4-year-old nephew Taylor's like, "Papa, can we change the channel?" So, yeah, not the other stuff. Sorry.
I've actually been shopping Artist Alley with M. Scott Russell here, and it's exactly like that first 10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
I miss conventions.
I know.
People need to put on your damn mask so I can go back to a convention once
I
in a
know,
while.
right?
Huh?
I know. I'm so hopeful that we get the vaccine soon. I'm checking the Utah vaccine website like every day in the hopes that they're like, yeah, come get it. We have plenty, just so I can go do something without. And and there's a good chance, I mean, I grew up in Vegas. I understand the odds. The odds are good. But there's still a chance that if you go out that you're accidentally going to either get sick yourself or expose someone unintentionally. And I don't know if you guys have been on Facebook lately, but I mean, Facebook right now, Facebook, Twitter, it's all just my aunt's, my aunt's passed away today. My mom passed away today. My dad passed away. And it's like, I can't take it. I mean, at what point do we say, okay, I mean, I think the statistic now is like almost 1 in every 750 Americans has died of COVID.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's terrifying.
That's nuts. It's nuts. So yeah, we need to put an end on this.
I still talk to people, and man, they still believe that it's all a conspiracy and it doesn't exist. And I was like, okay, oh boy.
You know what though? The second they get it, their tune changes. I've seen it happen. I have family that was their tune, and then all of a sudden they got it, and they're like, "This is real." And I'm like, "Duh, you think?" And I just don't. I mean, we're so stupid lucky to live in a day and age where like we grew up, and we didn't even have to worry about things like polio and smallpox and and all this stuff, and none of these things are. I remember when I was young. It was chickenpox. There's a giant chickenpox outbreak in Vegas, and my mom and my aunt got our cousins and I, and we went to a chickenpox party. Okay, and people are doing this with COVID. Well, here's my cautionary tale for that. Lo and behold, 20 years later, they find out that chickenpox is basically the shingles later on when you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my grandfather, who's 94 years old. He only has 2/3 of one lung from lung cancer. He has no stomach from stomach cancer. They basically like hardwired his esophagus shut. Like he's literally running out of body parts to cut off. And guess what? Like his number one thing that he hates, shingles. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, yeah, they cut out my lungs, but man, those shingles suck. So
Yeah.
These people that just think it's a game, they weren't around when, like, if you got polio, you basically had to live in an iron lung for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? It's just this culture of stupid that needs to stop, man. But oh well, I think we're getting a little too close to politics in our talking, so we'll just.
Oh, we can get off of politics. That's fine. Rose Kirby came in on YouTube to ask what time we're on Friday. We're not. We're taking this Friday off, actually.
Nice.
Yeah,
Friday off.
I'm gonna party with my kids.
You know, and actually, I think we've been going for about an hour and 26 minutes. So I'm gonna see if I can't really quick just sort of finish up like halfway, half body Naia. And,
Okay.
And then we'll,
can you do me a favor real quick, Chad? Can you check inside of the private chat for me?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yes.
Is that cool?
That'd be awesome. I'd love that. Yes.
Okay, so let's do this then. We'll go ahead and we'll get prepared to close out this stream since it's been an hour and a half. I mean, everybody knows for sure that you doing an entire Naia drawing in an hour and a half is quite outrageous of an ask, and you've gotten really far with this.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is to thank everybody for hanging out and listening, learning along with us. Because I mean, come on, it's Chad Hardin, y'all. Like, we're gonna listen. What we'll do is. Yeah, listen. What we'll do is we're going to take the drawing that he's working on right now. When Chad says that he feels like it's ready, whether it's in sketch format, which I think would be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be.
Hint. Or whatever format Chad seems fitting, since it is his art. We're going to go ahead and throw it on a t-shirt, and that is going to go to a winner that we are going to award right now. Let's do this. When's the last time we got a YouTube win? It's been a couple of weeks. So we've got a YouTube win. So let's see. The first comment that can name the character that Chad's drawing. This is the easiest question we've ever asked on here, guys. To be clear.
Yeah.
The first comment that we get on YouTube will win this shirt.
Now we play the Jeopardy music, right?
Dun, 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 dun. Now everybody like on Twitch and stuff is like, oh, crap, running over to YouTube. Our numbers are going to go all crazy. The reason that we're doing it just on YouTube is YouTube's actually got about a 15-second delay. So oftentimes it's really hard for viewers on YouTube to be able to win. So that's what we're doing at this time.
Now,
Rose actually got it.
Rose got it. Good job, Rose.
That's Rose saying that. Oh, yeah. Wow, she just added it right into her comment. She didn't even take time to split the comments. She's just like,
I know.
I was putting something on Instagram. Naia! Right on.
Can I ask a favor though? So
absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Shoot.
Yeah, you can put me in the book, Chad.
No.
Hey, if you're gonna put him in the book, you gotta add me too. I'll be on the screen next to him.
When we were doing, I think when we were doing I had a fan that was supposed to get a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't get it because I could not find where the message section was in my Twitch. Can we make an extra shirt for that fan that I accidentally neglected on Twitch? Because I didn't find it till like last week that they messaged me there. Can we
maybe is there a chance that we're gonna get an M. Scott Russell / Fry cameo in Temerity 3?
I think I can sneak it past Gemma. You might be microscopic. It might be. Have you seen? You might be a tattoo on Julius's arm, but I think I can swing it.
You know what?
I'm down.
I'm down. I'm into it. No, of course. Yeah, if you could just shoot us over any information that you find, or even just get us the Twitch username, and we'll try to get in contact with them.
Okay.
And get it all ironed out. And then Rose, I've already got all your information, your shirt size, and everything like that. So keep in mind, this one's going to take a little bit longer even than the last one. You're in the UK, and shipping is extraordinarily crazy right now, guys. Just so anybody that's ever won anything or that wins anything in the future, keep in mind, shipping takes a long time. We do these shirts custom order, so it takes us a little bit of time to get the shirt. We bundle it together with a little bit of swag, shoot it back out over to you. So, it's definitely not an Amazon 2-day delivery type of thing. Some of these, I think Rose said that it took the last time that she won. I think she said it took almost 2 months for her to get.
Holy cow! Wow.
But that's shipping out to the UK, and we don't mind giving out winners to international, viewers and fans, part of the community. We don't mind that at all. However, we will say this: we have heard from a couple of community members that have won things in places like France, where the cost of to you through your customs locally, that you have to actually pay to receive that package after it goes through your local customs, may be higher than what you're comfortable spending. And we don't want to force you to spend money on something that you've won. So always feel free to let us know if that's something that's going on. We'll do our very best to work with you and figure out something else that will work without you having to throw money out of your own pocket to get. So.
Yeah. I'm glad that you came up with that solution. I ran into that with Art of Chad Hardin Volume 3, and I have a lot of people that are like, can you just say that there's no value to the package that you're sending? And I'm like, I can't do that because mail fraud is a felony in the United States. And let's face it, I'm not surviving in jail. Okay. So I'm like, I'm like, as much as I want to help my fans out, it's like, I can't do that. So that's cool that you guys, well, we'll figure out some alternative if that's not doable. So.
Oh, this is cool. Illusion on Twitch was already rooting for Rose to win too. That's awesome. Leslie on Facebook says, I don't know how to get onto YouTube. I'm not that technology smart. YouTube.com/CryptoComics Marketplace. It's easier if you just market.
I'm so right there with that last comment. That is me right there. I'm very proud of myself. I got on tonight without Gemma. That was she was like, Chad, where are you? I can't get my Wi-Fi to work.
Oh.
Turn on Wi-Fi.
Yes, Andrew on Twitch comes in to say tattoos are permanent, which is why it's the perfect spot for my face. And those of you who might not understand, Chad Hardin also has a weird little thing about him where the tattoos that he puts inside of his drawings are unbelievably detailed. And oftentimes, the only way you can tell this is if you have a digital version of the comic and you zoom way, way in. But do yourself a favor and pick up any Chad Hardin book and zoom in on tattoos on any of his characters. You'll probably be surprised. I mean, I know in Temerity Book 1, it's almost like an entire other drawing inside of the tattoos.
Yeah.
Jim some of them.
So angry at me for that. Chad! Chad! Get the book done, Chad! Stop working on the tattoo! Remember that? That's where that I was like, ah! Yeah, there we go.
How about that? Will this work? This one won't get us copywritten.
Copyright stroked.
I could do a remix. You just hit the button over and over, make a Gemma beat.
All right, there we go. I think we're done. I think that's a good. I mean, there's obviously, I could keep going on it forever, but I think that's a good. It's a good.
You know what? I think it'd be cool to have a shirt that's just your sketch like that, man, with the blacks and everything in there.
Yeah, I was thinking leave that red in there. When you go to print the T-shirts.
Okay, we can do that.
We'll do is we'll throw the Temerity logo in there and
sweet
draw Chad Hardin. And
here we'll add this. Yeah.
That's gonna stay. No. All right, cool.
All right.
Let me check in with chat real quick before we close out the stream. Rose Kirby on YouTube says, thank you for taking my mind off of what happened yesterday. No problem, Rose. That's what we do.
If only I could do that for my wife. Every time
rarely use our own minds. Yeah. Nobody's Loser says, we'll do. That's an interesting little Easter egg. I'm telling you, zoom in on everything Chad Hardin makes. You will find, especially the Hellbringers cover.
Yeah. It took a while to find it. You're hidden, Mickey. I found it.
There's a reason I ordered that one with the metal print. I had to have that one.
Dude, those metal books turned out so nice.
Cool.
So, you know what? Can we plug Mark's new one just real quick? He has like,
yeah, I don't have a link for it, but give me one second.
I don't either, but he's really close. They funded, But what's happened is because he ran it over Christmas, he's had a few people, cancel, and he could really use the support. So, go if you're able, go spread the love to Jingar and Shred. There's a Chad Hardin cover. There's a Chad Hardin cover in there, so you can support my artwork too. I think he'd get a kick out of that if.
Cool! He just hit 100 backers too, which is fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, good.
So there's a link in chat there for anybody that's interested. It's Jengar, right? That's how you pronounce it, or is it Jengar?
It's one of those situations where I've only read it, so I'm pronouncing it the way I read it. I think it's Jingar and Shred. I could be wrong though. I don't know if Mark and I have ever talked on the phone about the actual name. It's just like emails and scripts. So maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I think that's how it's pronounced.
Well, and I mean, there's also like the Steph Wilson cover. There's a Mark May cover.
Yes.
You just mentioned that you did a cover for it,
right?
Which is absolutely cool.
Listener did one. It's phenomenal. Right? Yeah. Just go get the. Anything Listener does, you should buy 5 of. So
like, don't even ask.
Don't even ask. Just go and get it. Go and get it. It's so good. The artwork's so good. Yeah.
And if you're a big time collector, guys, just to keep this in mind, one of the tiers I'm checking right now, see if it's still available. But one of the tiers was to have the original cover art.
Nice.
Directly from Mark Mays. I'm checking. It looks like there's. Yep, it's 1 of 1. That's still remaining. I mean, it's an expensive tier. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But how cool would that be to have the original cover? I mean, the original cover art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh, Nobody's Illusion says. Oh, whoops, sorry. Nobody's Illusion says something that Matt keeps touching buttons with. Stop it. Nobody's Illusion says, "Oh, speaking of sketch covers, this should be one for Temerity." Gemma would never let that happen.
She might. I tell you what, guys. If you want something, the best way to get something is to ask for it on social media really loudly. So,
can I have free stuff?
Yeah. So,
can I be in the book?
This drawing actually turned out really well, and I mean, honestly, I did one the other day for Draw Naia in this style, and I swear I worked like all day on it. So this one actually, for a 2-hour drawing, this one turned out really good, really fast. So I would not put it outside the realm of possibilities. Just ask for it, and if there's the demand there for it, we'll do it. We'll make it happen. So.
And keep your eyes plugged on all the social media channels for Crypto Comics, for Temerity, for Chad Hardin, for Gemma Young. You're about to see a whole lot of stuff getting posted up for this Kickstarter because it's a big, Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
Yep, crowdfunding campaign. Yes,
so,
yes. And support us on both. Get the covers on both. It's double mint twins time. Double the pleasure, double the fun. So if you're a Temerity fan, we're gonna have exclusives for Indiegogo. We're gonna have exclusives for Kickstarter. So support us on both if you can.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Gonna be pretty damn cool. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and close that stream. Congratulations, Rose, on grabbing that. Oh, GF Andrew Dodge on 19 says Kickstarter backed. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Mark would really appreciate that. He's a good dude too. Find him on social media. Tell him not to have a heart attack and to keep making comic books.
I know. Well, that's what I'm afraid of. He's going to freak himself out again. He's getting so stressed, man. So
he needs to calm down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send him a sandwich or something. Chill out.
All right.
I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna send him like a healthy snack, and I'm gonna be like, sit down, relax, eat this snack, or you're not gonna be able to keep making me comic books. I'm gonna be very offended. You know what I mean?
I'm ready to have a snack. My dinner's still waiting upstairs on the table, so I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Well, let's close this stream out.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Watching.